So horizontal to Ren 10 and on the stomach line is stomach 23, the Taiyi, the Supreme Unity, the Supreme Union, or the Supreme Unity. Really, obviously, very interesting and profound name. The name Taiyi is, cosmologically related to the state of the Tao before the separation of yin and yang. So the great unity before the separation into heaven and earth. And so that sort of cosmogonic or metaphysical, if you will, term here is a term, if we're talking about harmonization, it's like the deepest level of harmonization or the highest level of harmonization, because we're talking about this sort of fusion, if you will, of the energies of the universe before the cosmogonic process. So that's like the highest possible level of harmonization, and Tai, of course, means supreme. So it's the supreme harmonization in the supreme unity. And it's a point that transforms phlegm and calms the Shen, as well as harmonizing the middle burner. So here again, you have a point with very, very deep, very, very deep spiritual and cosmological, or psychological, I should say. I mean, a very, very deep spiritual and psychological indications in relation to this point. Here, this is a point which is useful for, mania, useful for mania, depression, the complex of mania, depression, and agitation. And again, things, the kind of like neuropsych type symptoms where a person has tongue thrusting and they're sort of what's called mad walking, meaning that they're it's kind of like raving madness. So things that we associate, the neuropsych symptoms that we often associate with Yang Ming insanity. So this is a point really for that level of Yang Ming insanity. And so it's really interesting again, because when I say neuropsych, we see this relationship certainly in the channels that we find in classical Chinese medicine of the relationship between the stomach and the brain, right? The relationship between the stomach and madness, the relationship between the stomach and neuropsychosis, basically. And so this is really a point for that level of treatment where, the person is neurologically and psychologically unstable. Right, this not just a question of depression and anxiety, which this could also be used for, but it's a step beyond depression and anxiety into a level which we would really consider a neuropsychological disorder of something like schizophrenia or some other type of madness, basically. So that and that's why when we say that it transforms phlegm and calms the Shen in Chinese medical terms, this is a kind of hot phlegm. This is a kind of phlegm, hot phlegm, misting the mind, misting the heart, misting the brain in that sense. So anyway, it's an interesting point, because if we, for two reasons, I mean, I think on the one hand, just if we have, clinically speaking, a situation where there's digestive problems with a person who's having neuropsychological symptoms, we think of this point, obviously. But it's also interesting just in terms of this point being a place where we have this point being a place where we have these different aspects of the stomach's channel or the stomach's network kind of coming together, right? So if we think of the stomach's channel, we know that the stomach's channel has a pathway that comes around the neck and connects to the dumai, right? There's another aspect of the stomach that's going to come and connect to the brain, through stomach 8 or through the top of the head. So again, we have this brain connection. We obviously have also connections of the stomach's channel to the heart. The divergent channel of the stomach, for example, connects into the heart directly. So, we have with the stomach digestive, heart, brain relationships, and this happens to be a point here in the center of the body, in the hara, in the center where all those things come together in the Taiyi, in the Supreme Unity.